All right, so probability is a very interesting topic, and we'll just go straight into it and explain some principles. Some things that really um, you can understand easily. So for example, starting with the definition, I would say probability is all about possibilities, right? It's just about possibilities in life. It's defined as a study of possible occurrences. you know so for example, if you have like a football match, let's say penalty kick, the player has two possibilities when playing a penalty kick. Is either he scores, so the possibility for playing a penalty kick could be is either he scores the goal or does not. So these are the two possibilities. Now these possibilities are called probabilities. All right, so that's the idea of probability. Now, when it comes to talking about what is the possibility that he scores, or what is the probability that he scores, then you're actually trying to tell um, what are the chances that if he kicks this ball, he's going to get it, he's going to get a goal, and that is like saying because of the possibilities surrounding this event, there's only just one chance of him making the goal because we have just two possibilities. Either he scores or he does not. So probability that he scores is just one out of two chances. That's just it. So if you want to say, okay, what's the probability that he scores, we can just say it is 1/2. So you just have one out of two chances, or one out of two possibilities. And that's just the idea. So that helps us to understand the formula of probability, which says that the probability of any event, let's say x, is equal to the required outcome over the possible outcome, or total possible outcome. Let's over the total possible outcome. That's the idea of probability. And with this idea, you'll be able to solve many problems in probability, just like the one we just looked at now. If you have, for example, let's say a die, well, let's start with a coin first. Now, in a coin, we have what we call sample spaces, head and tail. Now, you see this here, we call it in probability sample space. So it just tells you the outcome of an event. So in a coin, the sample spaces that we have just two sample spaces, head and tail. So like that's what we have. So that's the outcome. The possible outcome is a head and tail. So in this kind of situation, they want you to find the probability of having head. Like what's the probability of getting a head? If you throw the coin, so what's the probability that it is a head that appears? Now at that point, you can apply the formula that we have here. The chance is obviously is the chance is very obvious though, but following the formula, you know that the required outcome is having a head over the possible outcome. Total possible outcome is either it could be head, it could be tail. So the total possible outcome is head or tail. So the head is 1, head and tail is 2. So this is the probability. So that's the idea of probability. Now there are important terms you need to note in probability. Okay. So we have already defined what a sample space is. I want you to understand that the probability that an event must occur, or that an event happens um, occurring, is between 0 and 1. So probability of any event between 0 and 1. So if it does not occur, if it's not going to occur, let's put it this way: if it's not going to occur, probability of events not occurring is actually just 0. But if the events must occur, if you say, oh, this event is going to happen, then the probability is 1. Okay? So why is it that the probability of an event occurring is 1? That's an important question. So you notice that just like we have in a die, let's say um, a die sample space of a die, we have six possibilities. We can have one, we can have two, we can have three, we can have four, we can have five, we can have six, right? Now, if you say that what is the probability of getting one? If you throw the die, what's the probability of getting one out of the die? Let's say one shows. The probability is actually just one out of six possibilities. Six possibilities, one, two, three, four, five, six, or six chances. So this is the required outcome, one over six possibilities, or six possible outcomes. Um, so this is 1 over 6. This is the probability of getting 1. It's 1 over 6. Now, the same thing, the probability of getting 2 is 1 over 6. 3, 1 over 6. 4, 1 over 6. 5, 1 over 6. 6, 1 over 6. So basically, you notice that the required outcome is not greater than the possible outcome. So whenever you want to find a probability, the required outcome here is always less than the possible outcome. This one is always greater. So this probability can never be greater than 1. It will always be in a fraction because of the fact that what you need is always going to be less than the total possibilities. Okay? Now, if you want everything, if you're saying, okay, what is the probability that I'm going to get 1, 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6? Probability that I'm going to get all of the numbers there, which is not actually possible though, because it's a die that is in cube form. So, but if you want to do it that way, let's say um, if I want to get everything there, then you are going to say that you're going to have all possible outcomes. The probability that you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all over the possible outcomes, which is 6. So you're going to have 6 over 6. You're still going to have 1. So it cannot exceed 1 because this is the possibility. And your required outcome, let's say your required outcome is all 6. So it's going to still be 6 over 6, which is 1. The same thing with a coin. If you're saying that, okay, I'm going to get both head and tail. So at the end of the day, you're going to have 2 over 2 because your required outcome is head and tail, which is 2. And then your possible outcome is also 2, which is head and tail. So you still get 1. So it cannot be greater than 1. It must always be less than 1 in terms of probability. Okay. Now, what is the probability? What's the sum of all probabilities? Now, the sum of all probabilities of all possible outcome, probability of all possible, or let's say of all events, probabilities. Sum of all event probabilities is equal to 1, or we can say 100%, or like saying complete. This means that if you have an outcome, let's say the probability of that I will succeed, or plus the probability that I'll fail is also equal to 1. Now, how is this possible?